Hey there everyone, Foxy Fern here. Welcome back to the stream of our Anim challenge. I am sorry for that little snafu, but fortunately it didn't take quite as long to figure it out as I was expecting. So the issue I had was that I thought my Autodesk, that my Maya was installed on my E drive. Turns out it was installed on my C drive, and for whatever reason I have two different Maya folders, both on my C drive and my E drive. I don't know what happened there, but in any case, I found the correct plugins folder to put all that stuff, and fortunately now our little trundle guy is working as I would expect. So here he is in all of his beautiful glory. For whatever reason, the pedestal was still like messed up with the texture, but I honestly don't really care about that. What's super weird about this guy is that he's like 50 meters tall or something. And I'm actually wondering if this is really gonna slow down my file, just like whatever these plugins are and what they're calculating, because this seems kind of laggy already. So hopefully this isn't gonna be too awful. But anyway, let's see here. Now I can show you guys what my idea kind of is for this character. So we'll go back to my reference video, and if you're wondering what this Anim challenge is, make sure to check out the first part of the stream that I will link down in this description once the stream is over, because I had a little bit of a explanation in the last part of the stream, but then ran into this snafu, and everything's all sorted out now. But let's see here. We've got... Where did I put my reference? I'm trying to be better in general about like actually saving out video reference and naming it and putting it all in one place, because the number of times throughout my career that I've like found a video reference and thought it was really great and then never saved it, and I'm like, where did I get that thing from? So anyway, I probably should have opened this with QuickTime, because that's what I'm going to want eventually, but oh well, it's already opening in VLC. No. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna do the QuickTime version, because this way I can just scrub through and give you an explanation of what I want to do. So I went, this was like a couple of hours, I think, of me going on to YouTube and trying to search for videos that would work as the reference that I wanted. So what I was thinking about doing, I didn't want to do anything super complicated, because as I mentioned in the earlier part of the stream, I haven't done a lot of camera work, and I haven't ever done a character intro before quite like this, so I don't want to go too over the top, because I have a tendency to bite off more than I can chew, and this is limited time. I'm getting started a little bit late. I didn't know about it till after last week, and plus I wanted to finish the jump animation. So I'm gonna do like a very simple, the camera's gonna start like close up to his mace, and he's gonna be like in mid swing where he's like swinging it around himself, and then he's gonna come and like smack it down on the ground in front of him. Maybe I'll have him like kind of yell or like as he smacks it down or something, and then he's just gonna lift it back up and put it on his shoulder, and that's gonna be his idle pose. So like nothing super exciting, but you know, if I can really sell the weight and the camera and just like have good animation overall, like the character intros for some of their characters that are in League of Legends aren't even like that detailed, but you know, they're just really clean. So here's what I was thinking, and my animation, I hope to make it about 6 seconds long. So this video reference compilation is like almost a minute long, but I just wanted a bunch of different pieces that I can look at So I forget what this is called, but this is some form of martial arts that I really liked. The way the reference for this is the way that this guy is like swinging his mace around as he's turning. I haven't fully decided if I want to put a turn in it or if I just want him to swing the mace and pull it back behind his head. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I do like the turn, so I might incorporate that. And then this guy, I think his name is Cthulhu Mike. He's really funny, and he makes all these big swords, and so I found some videos of his trying out the swords that he made, and this I thought was good reference for swinging a sword around. He's a little goofy. I don't want to quite make it quite this goofy. I would probably go more like this guy where he's taking controlled steps, but it was just like another reference of some body mechanics, because I really like the twist we can see here in his body. And then that was just because I thought it was funny that I left it in there. Again, this guy, maybe instead of having the troll turn around, maybe we'll just have him do like a cool, fancy swing my mace and look badass thing. So I'll put that in there just in case. And this one was, I thought, good reference for the mace coming behind the head and then back out in front of him, and then this is just from another view of the guys doing the same thing. And then here we have whoopam, the reference for the mace actually coming down and hitting the ground. Again, it's not quite what I want, but the point of this video reference was to get like some good body mechanic examples of like, oh, what does the body do when a person slams down a big heavy weapon like this, right? So these character intros, you know, can be kind of unrealistic to a point because, you know, it's a fantasy game and they're like kind of over the top pushing the boundaries and everything, but I still wanted it to be based in reality. So I just got a few examples here. I think this is the same guy as this. I think he's just much older in this clip here. And once again, just some smashing down references, just a couple of varieties, and thought that was funny, so I left it in again. It makes me laugh every time. And then picking it back up. This is a little more extreme of an effort that I want. I don't think our troll guy needs to show this much effort, but again, it was just kind of, I wanted to see how the body was moving when lifting this thing back up, right? And here too. So he pulls it down and puts it back up on his shoulder. And so like this is kind of what I want the end pose to be, except not have the troll seem exhausted like he is here. So anyway, that's what I have planned for this. Oh yeah, see, this is a little bit laggy. I don't know why this is happening. So hopefully that's not gonna slow us down too much. Okay, so this guy, oh, first of all, let's turn off the meshes there so I don't accidentally select the troll. Alright, let's see what we got here. Do we have a way to... Yeah, so it's got parent spaces on the mace. That's cool. But we definitely want to put the arms in FK. We might have them in IK at some point, but definitely for starting out. Actually, I think we'll want the left hand in IK because it's going to be constrained to the mace. And I'm just going to make a real quick selection button, I think, for my shelf editor here. Let's make a new shelf. You know what? I don't think I'm going to use the Sam rig again, because she wasn't that great. I'll do a rig review on it at some point so you guys can decide whether you want to use it, but I'm going to just delete that shelf and we'll make a new shelf and call it Trundle. All right, so we'll open up our script editor here. Oops, come on. Clear that out so I don't accidentally do stuff I don't want. And it's gonna be very basic for now. We might have to add some more controls to it later, but I'm gonna do that, and I'm actually just going to deselect those because I don't want to include those in my when I go to key all. So we'll just middle click and drag that to our shelf, and going to rename that to select all. And we could modify that later, or I can make some more shelf buttons if I want to do like just a torso or something like that. Okay, so let's see what this does first of all. Oh. Okay. So that, I guess, just allows us to have two different ways of rotating him. Interesting. All right. Okay, well, now comes the tough part where I gotta start blocking and set up my camera, guys. This is gonna be interesting for me. So I might be modifying this quite a bit as we go along, because I don't know exactly what my timing is going to be, and like I said, I don't want to do the full 8 seconds, even though that's allowed, because I want to make sure I can get this done in time, right? So we're gonna try, I'm gonna try out doing him like actually turning around as he wields the mace, because I think that'll be a lot more interesting. Again, if I were smart, I would have familiarized myself with the rig a little bit beforehand, and we wouldn't have had the issue that I had. But, alas, I did not do that. Alright, so even though I want this in IK, I think I'm going to put it to probably the spine. Oh, interesting. We can put it to the weapon eventually, so that'll be nice. That'll be super useful. But for now, I'm just going to put it in spine so that it doesn't stick in space when I rotate him around like this. And probably this guy, probably, does that work? No. Interesting. Huh. I figured it would maybe follow this around. Left hand, IK pull vector. So world FK, does that? Weird. That doesn't, none of these are actually... I kind of wanted it to follow the control here, but it doesn't want to do that. Alright, whatever. It's not like the end of the world, but it'll just be a slight nuisance. Okay, what's the difference here? We've got main FK, and we've got root FK. So I guess... Interesting. I don't know when we would choose one of these over the other. Maybe if our legs were in FK, that would be a thing. Like maybe one of these controls will allow your FK legs to stay where they are. But I think I'm just gonna animate for now the main FK. I don't want to animate both of those unless I like encounter some gimbal issue, and then maybe I would, but let's also put this to I'm just gonna leave it actually. How about we get the mace in his hand? How does that sound? This guy is pretty cool. I like his design. I'm a big fan of trolls in fantasy world. I played a lot of trolls in World of Warcraft, so I'm excited to animate this guy. What is this here? Ah, okay, so this... Interesting. I guess that gives you some fast controls if you want. If you don't want to do what I'm doing where I'm animating the individual controls, but this is the way I like to work, because then I know exactly what everything's doing and I only have one curve that I have to look at for this. So it doesn't really look like he has room for both of his hands on here. That's gonna be a little weird, isn't it? It's not a two-handed mace, I guess. I could potentially just stretch out the handle if I wanted to, like grab the verts. Let's see. I select, view selected. Oh, it's all one mesh. Okay. Like I could come in here, potentially. Of course, I should have done this before it was in his hand, I suppose, but... Doo-doo-doo. Let's see how bad it looks when I stretch this out. Oh. Okay, well... I just broke it, guys. I just super duper broke it. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, well... I don't know what I was thinking, because this is skinned to something, so of course I can't do that. But also... this right here is actually why you should probably reference your file, because I broke it and now I have to go back. Yup. See, so I already lost. I already lost that, but whatever. It won't take me that long to fix this. Okay, so duly noted, can't extend out this thing without having to reskin. So I'm not gonna bother with that because I'm not sure I have time. Turn you back to FK. Turn you back to spine. Save ourselves a key, and now we're essentially back to where we were. Not quite, but close enough. I might just cheat and like have him do something like this. It's not the way you would hold a two-handed object, but I really wanted this to be a two-handed thing. I guess it doesn't have to be, just because that's what I envisioned in my mind doesn't necessarily mean that's what we need to do. Like, it's totally believable that this guy could swing this thing around with one hand because he's a troll. I guess I was just expecting that a mace this big would have been actually two-handed. I am glad that he only has 3 fingers on each hand. That'll make my life a little easier. And they're like big and chunky too, so it's like they're not gonna look weird. Only got 2 joints on each finger. Ah, an animator's dream. Yeah, there's not room for 2 hands on there, though. That's for damn sure. But it is interesting that this has a parent space for the weapon, so it is kind of implied that he would have this parented to the weapon, or maybe they just did it to be symmetrical. Ah, no, they didn't. See, this is for the right hand, and it does not have a parent space of the weapon, which means they wanted this guy to be right-handed, and they wanted his left hand to be able to be parented to it. So, okay, well, now we know. I'm not sure why this isn't following with the hands. That's really weird. Extend high and extend low. Well, I don't know what that is, but maybe we'll find out. I thought maybe this would give us an auto roll, but guess not. Let's see. Aha. Cool. What does this one do? Does that flap it? Yes. Sweet. As I would expect, so that's good. It's always nice when a rig does what you think it would do. Although, what is this? What? Oh. Oh, cool. Nice. I do like that. Having that be in one control so that I don't have to like roll to the right and then roll to the left and have that be 2 different curves. That's pretty nice. Keel roll, yep, that all makes sense. Cool. And toe roll. Alright. Nice. I like so far that this rig doesn't seem super complicated. I am a little worried about the fact that my Maya is like temporarily locking up sometimes when I hit Q or F. Like that? That was... Oh, that's okay, I guess. Whoa. Okay. Upper noodle. Alright, I thought that was the pull vector for his knee, but that... Nope, that was not. That is the pull vector for his knee. Interesting. What does... Upper noodle. Okay, well, I guess we can, like, stretch his... Huh. That's... It's kind of interesting, but I feel like that's a really dangerous control. I don't know. I've never seen that before, and I don't really know what to do with it. I'm sure it's just to, like, make your poses look better, because, like, for instance, right now, you know, this doesn't look very nice, but if I go like this, it's more appealing. But that just seems like you're asking for trouble when it comes to actually having to animate that control. Oh. I'm gonna avoid animating that as much as I can. It is also going to be an interesting challenge animating this guy based off of the video reference I have, because the video reference is humans doing things, and this guy does not have the same proportions as the humans. Let's see, I'm likely gonna want this arm to be in some sort of different space here. How about spine 3? Which one is spine 3? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably what I'd want, but basically I want to be able to animate the clavicle and not have the arm pivot with the clavicle. Should be saving my file more often than I am. Also, I'm gonna check and see just how outrageously large these files are by me not referencing. I'm probably gonna regret this, guys. It's actually not that big. 9,000 kilobytes? Wonder why it's like taking so long to save then. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, 9 megs is actually kind of big for... I'm like comparing it to my other files, like the squirrel file. They were all 400 kilobytes as I was working. And the squirrel rig itself is 3,000 kilobytes. Well, I may regret this, but it's too late now. Look how big this guy is. See how tiny our grid is here? And I'm in meters. This is... He's a tall boy. I kind of want to turn off the visibility of this control so I don't actually accidentally pose it, but I don't know if I want to deal with that right now. Okay, great. He's got a separate hips controller, which is fantastic. I have actually used rigs before that don't have that, and it's a nightmare. Okay, I think for now I'm just gonna bloop. Bloop. We'll just have him hold the mace the wrong way by putting his hands on top of one another. Don't do that. Don't swing a bat like this. You swing a bat like this, but, well, it is what it is, and this isn't a real character, so he's maybe a big doof that doesn't know how to properly swing a mace, properly hold a mace. Yeah. What if we just have his hand come up here a little bit? Oh, yeah, maybe he can... Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe we can get away with him just, like, interlacing his fingers. Again, not the right way to hold a weapon, but let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. This might actually look really dumb, but who cares? There is going to be all sorts of clipping galore on this character. Whoa, what is happening with the skinning here? That is not beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, I bet it's because... Where's his... Ugh, why is this freezing on me? Yeah, let's see if this... Ah, much better. Okay. It was just Now he can't see anything because his elbow's in his face, but that's okay. My friend, you kind of have short, stubby arms for how big you are. Oh my god, why is my Maya like temporarily freezing up when I move my camera sometimes? Oh, like that! Why? Not always though, just sometimes. Okay, how can we get this pose looking better here? Maybe we want to have him do a one-handed mace after all, huh guys? Like, maybe he can do one of these. Like, we'll still have him swing around the mace the same way that I wanted him to, but... Ugh, because he's just... His arms are too short and stubby. What happens if we... This could be our answer, perhaps. Again, another thing that I kind of don't want to have to animate, but since we're doing like a cartoony guy, maybe that's okay. Ugh. It's still very stretchy here, isn't it? Whoa, okay. I was like, oh, let's see what the front view. So for starters, he's facing the wrong direction. Let's get these hips the way I want them. Maybe I do want to animate that control. Because this one affects the hips. Oh my god, just let me select. This one affects the hips. And this one affects everything above. I see now. I see why this control is here. So we may be animating that after all. In fact, I almost wonder if we shouldn't animate this one forward so much. Alright, I'm gonna turn this guy around because me having to remember to go to back view every time is gonna drive me crazy. So we'll just rotate him 180 degrees. And now, my friends, huzzah! Front view. I'm trying to decide what space I want to be animating this right arm in. Part of me almost wonders if I actually want to do it in IK with just having it parented to his chest. Oh, first of all, let's get this guy to weapon space. Oh no! It doesn't match for me? Well, that's cool. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry, guys. There wasn't anyone in the stream this whole time, and then suddenly there's chat messages I'm missing. And I don't know when you guys sent those. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Irish Images Film. Looking forward to challenge here tonight. Thank you. Me too. Toby. Hey, Foxy. It's late here in the UK, so unfortunately I can't join for long, but I wanted to say that I've really enjoyed all the content you've made, and you are such an underrated YouTuber. I hope this challenge goes well. Thank you so much, Toby. I'm glad you're enjoying my content. And hopefully this animation will turn out okay. Tom, hello. Sorry I'm late. I've been really busy today. Glad to be here now, though. Thanks, Tom. You are my only person with 100% attendance so far, or at least as far as I know. So no worries on being late. I appreciate you being here at all. I had a little bit of a snafu in the beginning of the stream anyway because of some plugins that came with this character, and I had to like take a quick break and figure that out so that I didn't make a really boring video. So glad you're all here now, and no worries if you have to dip out because it's late. I scheduled this stream an hour earlier actually because of my friends, you guys over in the UK. Instead of doing it at 2 o'clock like I was originally doing. I know it's still late, but also it's the weekend for me. I like to go on a bike ride in the mornings and like have my coffee and eat my oatmeal and whatever, and so like take a shower. I'm maybe gonna try to get up earlier here starting soon, and maybe I'll push the stream back another hour, or earlier another hour rather. Okay, I still don't like that we can't see his face here, but I guess at this point I still want I'm gonna have the camera zoomed in pretty close to the weapon at this point anyway. Oh right, we need to change this to the weapon space, but we're gonna have to do this manually. I'm really disappointed that that doesn't automatically match for us. So let's go in here and create locator. I could make a script for this. Maybe I'll make a script for this character sometime. Whoa, what happened to my graph editor? Oh no. What? Alright, well Maya's bugging out, guys. Don't care about that just yet. Probably not going to be using the graph editor too much today, aside from making sure things aren't going into gimbal lock for me. But let's go ahead and take care of this. So we will constrain our IK, or we'll constrain our locator to our IK, and delete that. And switch this to weapon space, and constrain it back to our locator, save key, and then we'll delete that constraint. Cool. So now if we move this around, yes, his hand will follow. Cool. All right, let's find our next pose. So I am gonna kind of do some basic blocking out of this character before I try to animate the camera, because I'm a firm believer in that your character should always be balanced even if you can't see everything in the camera, because and I've been guilty of this in my own past. Like when I've done dialogue pieces, I mean even the one that's on my as like my channel video, the first dialogue where it's like, Armand, why don't you let me be on that show? So that animation, I don't think I actually animated the character's feet, and you can tell because when you watch it, he kind of just like bobs around. But if you watch a real person when they're talking, they don't bob. They sort of shift their weight, and it's more, most of the time it's like, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes it's up and down, sometimes it's they go down. It depends, but like basically I can tell that I didn't animate the legs, and I can tell that in like numerous 11-second club clips when people don't actually animate anything below the hips. So I think it's important to have at least a basic correct weight distribution of your character. You don't have to make sure the feet are planted perfectly or anything like that. So I'm gonna block out the idea that I have first, and then I might modify it once we get some camera stuff in. So just working on the key poses today. We'll maybe do this pose next here. He's not actually hitting anything until he brings it down to the ground. So, for now, he's just like swinging it around. And I don't know what I want my timing to be just yet. I might do like even some slow up, speed down type of stuff like they do in their dramatic League of Legends cameras. So I'm just gonna do this every 10 frames, and then we're gonna change this to stepped preview so I don't see all the messy crap in between. Oops. This guy, his proportions are so weird, guys. Why is my Maya being mean? I guess I do actually still want him rotated forward here. Let's see, so his body is gonna straighten out a little bit. So one thing I like to do in my blocking phase, honestly, is to kind of zero everything out between poses, depending on what I'm doing, because I've ran into problems before where I accidentally will I'll have two controls, like his spine controls, right? And in one pose I'll animate them this way, and then in the next pose I'll animate them this way, and when I'm just looking at it in blocking it looks fine, but then as soon as I go into splining it's like, oh crap, now I have these controls that are counter animating and I didn't mean to do that. You know, it's really driving me crazy that my graph editor is a solid color right now. I'm going to just restart my Maya. Oops. I'm hoping maybe this will fix the little like hitch thing that I'm running into as well. Yeah, so I had to go search at the Autodesk site to figure out where I was not correctly putting my plugin stuff, and realize like, oh yeah, it's on my C drive. Okay, that makes sense. All right, well the graph editor is fixed, so that's good. I bet in my experience it's still gonna do the little like hitching when I try to rotate the camera, because I think it has something to do with this rig, so that's unfortunate. But I've ran into that problem before and I'm not sure there's really anything I can do about it. Same thing with the clavicles. I will usually zero them out between poses to make sure I'm not accidentally doing anything super wonky with them. Oops. Oh my god, this maze is so big. I don't know how heavy it is. It looks like it would be potentially heavier than he is. So this balance thing, right? Like trying to make my character look like his center of gravity is in the right spot. Well, if he's like actually swinging this out like this, then I'm probably gonna need to pull him back, because like normally if he wasn't carrying a mace, he would be too far forward, right? But because he's swinging this thing around. And again, this is where the whole fantasy thing and just exaggerating the truth comes in, because there's no way a person would actually be able to wield a weapon like this. I mean, he's not a person, right? He's a troll. But like even in my video reference, the guy slamming the sword down, there was like this super strong guy that was wielding a sword like that, and it's like he could barely lift it. So it's just not a thing that most people can do. Where is... oh, that's my knee. Where'd my elbow pull vector go? Is it hidden? Ugh, I hate that. That's why I wish I could get it to follow the IK, but that doesn't seem to be an option for me. I might have to make a quick select button for the weapon, so I don't have to do that. So here's a pro tip. One thing that I really hate that I see some people do in games especially is they put their hand in the pose on the weapon, and then they attach the weapon to the hand so that it follows when, you know, you're doing this. But they never ever change the pose of the hand once it's on there. So I don't have like a good example here, but like if I'm, yeah, I don't have anything like heavy to hold, but like say I've got my weapon and I'm like this. First of all, I don't like this fist pose. You know, do something more like this. It's more natural, organic, and it looks better than this. So if I have my pose like this, and I'm swinging the thing forward, I see so many people just have the fingers glued onto the handle of something, and then they bend the wrist like this, and it's a really awkward looking pose. What I recommend is actually, here, I suppose I should do it so you can see my fingers, but, guys, how do I, basically, they'll move it if you actually rotate the weapon and you're kind of adjusting the fingers so that it's kind of going like this more, so it's still in their hands but the grip is adjusting, and that will make it look a lot better. And it's actually more realistic too, because most people don't like death grip a thing, they're letting it move around in their hands. So I'm going to do that now because we were approaching that as an issue. He's still having trouble reaching this with his other arm, isn't he? I guess I I should have his clavicle forward more. So same thing with this. So like this guy, basically his hand is like this, right? And if you're gripping onto something, you would, rather than go like this, you would adjust your other hands to make it more comfortable. So we're gonna do that. And it is harder to animate, it's true. It kind of stinks because it's like, oh, I can't just rotate this around the bat like I want to. I mean, not without doing like some constraints and whatnot that I'm not concerned about that right now because we're just in the blocking stage. That's maybe something I'll consider doing later, is changing the pivot point of like his hand and stuff. I'm also not being too particular about the fingers right now because I'm not entirely sure that I want him to have both hands on the mace. We're just gonna see how it goes. Okay, let's go to the next pose. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself, guys? Yeah, first of all, I realize I'm being big fat dummy here. His arm should be more extended than this. So I want the angle of the mace to be somewhat similar to where it is, but his arm should be fully extended out at this swing here. Still a little weak, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now. All right, let's find our next pose. So I like to do a pose every time a character takes a step so that I know what exactly is going to be happening. Even if it doesn't seem like a super strong pose, I still think it's important to include that step. And since I'm going to try doing this whole stepping in a circle thing, that will be our next pose here. So at this point, it's a little tricky to see because his back is towards us, but you can see that the mace is now starting to swing around ahead of his body instead of behind of it before, because that weight is carrying itself now instead of his body pushing it. So we want to incorporate that. I'm really gonna hate myself for deciding to make him rotate around like this, guys. I don't know why I'm doing this. What is wrong with me? Because that's when you get all sorts of fun gimbal problems, you know? Let's see. I think he can be up a little bit now. See, here's an issue. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, it is pretty good. Okay, I'm surprised that the gimbal is staying parallel, so I only have to rotate him in one axis to turn him around like that. But I do want... You know what? What happens if we just... leave all the sideways rotation up to the control above him, above this one. So basically this foot will have pivoted a little. And if you're wondering why I'm going in here and actually rotating and translating the control instead of using like a toe pivot, is because if you're going around 360 degrees, this can be really difficult to manage, because anytime, like say it's like this, and now I want to actually rotate the control, now the pivot point is super odd and it makes it a lot harder to see what your motion trails are too. So I actually prefer to move the control where I want it to most of the time. it's honestly, it really is just personal preference, because I'm sure a lot of people would hate that. It requires then a little bit more manual work, because now I'm going in here and I want to line this up because I want his foot to have pivoted a bit, but I do want it to stay close to where it was before. Wow, wait, is that really? Yeah, okay, we just had him to his side a little too much, I think. Ah, wrong control. Hello, hello. Hey, Diego. Glad you can make it. How are you doing? I do like to use the ball rolls, though. Like, that would be a really hard thing to automatically animate. Sometimes if you're doing like mocap cleanup, you often are like doing that manually, because the mocap does not respect an IK rig. It's all 100% FK, and it just like counter animates itself. But when I'm keyframing, I do like to use the ball roll, but that is usually about the only set driven key that I like. In this case, it's not a set driven key, it's a controller, which is even better because I prefer that. See, here's something I did that I... Oh wait, no, that's okay. Alright, I guess... Oh no! Did I... Oh my god, you guys. I did something really dumb. I've been changing the pose that I had instead of starting another keyframe. So, oh my god, what have I done? I've made a huge mistake, in the words of Job. What's his face? How much can I undo here? Job Bluth, that's who I'm thinking of. So, okay, I'm gonna have to redo the next pose. Except I undid a little too far here. Nope, not that. Whoops! I guess we all make mistakes, right? Okay, let's set this on a new keyframe. Well, I hadn't gotten terribly far with that pose, so it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of annoying. Doop. We all make mistakes, right guys? It wouldn't be real if I did everything perfectly. Alright, let's go back into fixing this. Oops. Actually, I did want the right view. Beep. Ew. Huh, that's world, is it? Okay, I guess so. Alright, so he's stepping on this foot, which means we want to place it where we'd like, and then his center of gravity is going to be over that foot. Whoops. Which is my right control here? There we go. And see, I think I already kind of did a naughty on this because I animated this control a whole bunch, but not any of the other ones. So I'm going to go back here and fix that a little. Diego says, I'm trying to cycle, but about to quit. It went wrong. Walk cycle. I have a file that they sent me in FBX to animate, but this will not work. They say that with that file, I have to use it to animate a game. Ooh. So did they send you then just a skeleton and it doesn't have a rig on it and you're like animating on the bones? If so, that's rough. Like, you could make, you know, you could make some controls for it that drive the bones so you don't have to like click on the bones directly, but then yeah, you'd need to make your own IK chains and stuff for the legs. And correct me if I'm wrong on whether or not that's what you mean by FBX, because like to my knowledge an FBX is not going to include like all these rigging components and stuff. If so, that's rough. You can still do it. Oh my god, I'm doing it again, guys. What the fuck? Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. I came back here to fix this and like kind of even out the rotation between all these controls here. And if I was smart, I'd be using the script I learned from Animation Sherpa instead of animating all of these individual spine controls. Diego says, what type of files should be used to make animation for games and then pass it to Unity or Unreal? So generally I'm working in Maya, and like the character rigs will be either Maya ASCII or Maya binary, depending on like whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. And then when you want to send it off to Unity or Unreal, then you export it as an FBX. So when you export your finished animation, it is just like the joints, but like it's hard to work on an FBX animation. Like you can have maybe a tool where if you have like a character rig, you can import an FBX animation that already exists and it will update your rig. But that's generally a special tool that somebody will have built. It's not something that is automatically going to work. So are they expecting you then to rig the character too? Or they're just like, here you go, animate this on the bones. Good luck. like trying to check now constantly to make sure that I'm not accidentally saving over another pose. You'd be surprised at the number of times that I actually do end up doing that, but usually I haven't modified as much as I did the last time, so that's fun. Alright, so we want to start getting a little bit of a twist and his upper torso here. Ah. Thank you very much for the advice. I am your fan. Aw, thanks, Diego. I hope that helped. It's hard for me to say much more than that without actually seeing the file, but hopefully that will help you out a bit. If you do have to rig it yourself, you should be able to find some pretty simple tutorials online for just like making a very basic rig setup where to make like IK legs and stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with how to do that and then give it like a foot roll control. It's pretty simple, and there should be some available resources for you on that if you're not familiar with that process. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at this nasty stuff that's happening with his hand. Nasty, nasty woman. Ah. So definitely at some point in this series, I am going to be trying to put into practice some scripting that I learned from Richard Lico's course for like making the animation of this weapon better. But that won't be today, because today we're just going to be working on blocking. And I'm going to try and write myself a script for that offline so you guys don't have to watch me do all that. Also, I'm not sure I can actually show you that script, so. The rig was made with the Mixamo page. Okay, I'm somewhat familiar with Mixamo. Not terribly. Like, I know of that site, but I've never actually used anything from it. Have him keep an eye on his mace here. Oh, that's his jaw. Oh, that's cool. Rawr. Gotta be careful with this counter animating that I'm doing here. Let's... How should we do this? I don't know. I guess it's okay for now. Oops. This foot could use a little bit of twist, though. Ah, too much. There we go. All right, let's go back to step preview here. Actually, I think he should be a little more to his right. Is it true that always when you finish an animation, you have to bake the animation? Well, so it depends. It depends on what you're doing. Like, at my job, we have a tool that one of the other artists and animators wrote together that it's like when you're ready to send off the animation, you open up the tool and you tell it to export, and it bakes for you, and then it will reopen your previous file, and it, you know, it tells you like, hey, did you save first? So yes, essentially the short answer is yes. You always have to bake before sending it to engine. Otherwise you're going to leave the engine to decide what the interpolation should be between keys, and you don't want that. But you can have a tool that will do that for you and then revert to the previous file where you don't have baked keys. Or if you have to manually, save your file first, bake down your animation, export it, and then just reopen your earlier file. That's what I've done in the past when we didn't have tools. These keys, I can tell you, are definitely not actually going to be 10 frames apart. That's just kind of the way I like to separate out my poses when I'm in the blocking stage so that I can keep track of them super easily. All right, let's find our next pose here. Oh my gosh. Why am I doing this, guys? Why am I such a masochist? Look at this. This is really hard to animate. What am I doing? This was my idea. Okay, so we'll do... That's maybe a little too far, like, because I was saying, you know, animate the steps, but I think we might need a breakdown before going to that step, because I want to make sure I'm telling the story of the path that the mace is going to take. So let's get somewhere kind of in between here. Maybe this is a good spot, like as he's in his passing pose, so we'll do that next. Now he's kind of like flipped 180, so that'll be a good breakdown for telling our story. In fact, I'll just go ahead and turn that to 180. This stage is always so messy. Oh man, it's hard to tell where, it's hard to see which foot is which from that view, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this guy a little. Let's put this back to 0. When a foot is in the air, I definitely like to have all the foot rolls stuff zeroed out for the same reason that I was mentioning before, where it's like when you're pivoting the foot, you want it to actually pivot around the ankle. Man, his feet are so big. I don't usually have to like translate the foot that much when it pivots. Let's make sure. I know this is gonna look really bad, but let's make sure it actually looks like it's pivoting where it's supposed to be. Yeah. Kinda. It sort of looks like he's pivoting on his heel. But we can fix that. Yeah, that's why. It's because his toes come forward too much. Even though it looks really bad, I do like to kind of toggle between enable stepped preview and not, because I just want to make sure there's no like weird stuff flipping around or anything like that. It's not a good demonstration of what your animation is going to look like, but sometimes it is. Like so far, like this looks really bad, right? But it's, you know, for just taking the poses we've made so far and just turning them into spline, like it's not too bad actually. Nothing's going crazy, so that's good. Whoops, that was not the right control. Okay. So at this point, he'll start swinging his mace up. Oops, that's a clavicle again. Actually, let's make sure that's up a little bit. Ah, my gosh, I keep selecting the wrong control. They're the first poses of the blocking. Sure, it looked great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll probably go back and touch them up a little bit too at some point, but just want to get the storytelling down first. Whoops. Oh my god, I keep doing it, guys. Okay, so this guy, here's the pose again. He's starting to straighten up, so we saw that he was like bending over as he's swinging, and then starting to straighten up as the momentum of the mace is coming back over his head. So make sure to incorporate that too. I will just go ahead and say this is gonna be a challenging piece for me, guys. I haven't done anything quite like this before, so it will be interesting to see how it goes. Either it's gonna be really cool and I'll put it on my reel, or I'll be like, well, this was a learning experience and I'm going to burn it. Except burning it would require burning my computer, so perhaps just deleting. Ah. Where did that elbow IK go? I don't like how twisty you are, sir. Oh my gosh. This hand is being frustrating. Oh no! Did you get all twisted? That's not good, guys. So I think what's happening here is we've actually, like, twisted this hand. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. The rig thinks that we're twisting the arm beyond where it's supposed to go. Because, oh my god. What happens? What's this look like if we just zero it out? Oh my goodness. Oh no. That's no good. No good, no good. Shoot. Because even if we move the pull vector, then it's like still got this weird thing going on here. Well, that's fun. I think we're gonna just go with it for now, and worst case scenario, I can do some tricky constraint stuff again later and animate it in FK so that it doesn't get all weird like that. Maybe this will help, actually. Repositioning the hand in the appropriate spot. Sort of the appropriate spot. Good enough. Actually, yeah, his arm is more bent down in this pose. Oops. Ooh. What is happening here? Are we encountering the same issue? That's really weird that this is like... Why is it rotating like that? Because it's following the spine. But for some reason... That's icky. Why? It's like, it's almost like it thinks that it's moving in space, which is really weird because it should be relative to the spine and the Yeah, I don't think I want to do relative to world, do I? I don't think so. I want it to follow the chest. Well, that's a bummer. This is when sometimes I don't like rigs, guys. What happens if maybe it has something to do with these guys? This is really weird. Alright, so what happens if I... just save this key? Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. I guess it's... I suppose we're getting some gimbal lock stuff. Yep, that's what's happening. Cool. What does our in-between key look like here? Alright. That's not too bad, I guess. Ugh, it's still really... I think the skinning is just weird on this. Oh, also, it's super weird that I can translate his shoulder joint. Huh. Okay, whatever you say. Oof. I hate shoulders, guys. Like, shoulders are an animator's nightmare because, gosh, nobody really skins them super well. There's like so much deformation that's going on in there. You've actually got like, you know, the clavicle is never always quite accurate, which I understand why, because nobody wants to actually rig the clavicle like a real clavicle works. But it's a huge pain in the butt. And that is absolutely hideous. No me gusta. Strangely, translating the shoulder actually makes it look a lot better. Or, you know, actually rotating the clavicle like I'm supposed to. Still doesn't look great, though. Yeah, still looks icky. Whoops. Oh my gosh. This is super annoying to try and get it to do what I want. It's hard to tell. I think his elbow is a little bent at this point too, so... I think maybe we're just a little too extreme here. Let's have him stepping a little closer to where he's gonna end up. Oops. Meant to grab his hips. Oops. Oh my gosh. I really like it when a rig has different colors for right and left, and it makes it easier to find these pole vector controls. Where did my... Hello? Where did my manipulator go? Thank you. still don't want his arms to be this far forward here. This guy is kind of just like a jumble of geometry. He's so thick boy. It's hard to see what his joints are actually doing. Oh, and see, look at that. This is a common mistake that I make where I wasn't actually on the key that I wanted to put my pose on. Not a big deal. I'll just select all my controls, save that there, and then delete this key. But that is a common mistake that I do. Alright, I think that's... Let's have his head turn. Have him look at where he's going, kind of check out over his shoulder. I think maybe he needs to be... I'm not sure that's the right way he should be rotating or not. Let's see, if he's coming up, yeah. Let's take a look at these guys. I'm mostly referencing the dude on the left here, but the guy on the right's essentially doing the same thing, so maybe we can check out him from a different angle. Okay, yeah, he is kind of... He's got this curve in his spine that he's rotating towards where the mace is headed, so... I was actually gonna make him rotate the wrong way. Once again, because he's wielding this giant mace, his center of gravity, like normally he would need to be over his foot like this, but because he's got this mace in front of him, don't want him quite that far forward. Like he is sticking out his foot behind him now, which will help him counterbalance that, but it's got big feet. Alright guys, I have been holding it in for quite some time now. I need to take a quick break and go use the restroom. I drank a whole lot of water because I got back from my bike ride and didn't have that much time before stream, and it's catching up with me. So I'm gonna put my handy dandy little crappy I'll be back sign up in case anybody joins the stream before I return. One of these days, I'm going to make a real sign for me taking a break, but today is not that day, so I will see you in a few minutes. Alright. And I'm back. Oh yeah, let's put this back into stepped frame, shall we? After, yeah, that, it does look like he's pivoting on his feet though, so that's good news. Cool. Yeah, the path of this mace is definitely gonna need some work. Like, I don't mind it swooping down here and then coming back up, but it's probably swooping down a little too far. But we'll worry about that later. Okay. Pose number 5. Let's refer to our video reference again. So he takes a step here. Let's do something like here where he's picking up his next foot. Yes, we're going to get into some 360 rotation here. My favorite. Do I actually have him stepping in a straight line? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. I suppose we could check that by seeing what our translate X is on here. Yeah, that's fine. Good, good, good. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I just wanted to make sure we weren't having him go super wonky all over the place. In fact, let's make it just not quite a straight line. Be a little more organic that way. Do this nice little heel pivot that this guy is doing. And at this point, the mace is starting to get raised above his head, so let's incorporate that, shall we? Turn him just a little more here. Maybe I turn his foot a little too much. Oh, okay. Well, see, that's why I like to zero things out, because I didn't actually have his whole body rotated as much as I thought, and instead I was doing his hips to make it look like that was the case. So that's why it's a good idea to check your rotations every now and then. Oh, that's what's happening. This is following his cog. Interesting. Well, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. Now that we've done that, we might have him stepping to the side a little too far, or to. Let's see. I want to take a look at this other guy's similar pose as well to see whether he's bending forward or not. It's pretty straight up. He's kind of like arching his back backwards, but the hips are not bending as far forward as they were in the beginning. Maybe he's a little too straight up though. Kind of looks like he's breaking out into a dance move. Well, this is gonna be the fun part where we raise his arms above his head and his shoulders are gonna look all gross and nasty. Kind of like his arms are a mixture of FK and IK. I'm not sure how much I really like that, but we'll just have to make it work. Oof. It's gonna be rough here. Making this look good. Let's have him like, rawr. Yeah. Actually, this hand is starting to look not so great here, so let's do this. Oops. Where's our weapon? There it is. I really should make a button for this. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now to make sure we have it where we can see it. We'll just Ta-da! Just because it's too hard to get into that controller there. Whacked weapon. Alright. Now we don't have to do that anymore. Oh, interesting. It somehow, like, got kind of off from the hand anyway? What happened there? Oh, what's going on, bruh? Huh, okay. Alright, it's fine there. I guess, just wasn't really paying attention to what it was doing. Where's the end? There it is. I wanted that in the down pose though, didn't I? Yeah. That's probably why that was the way it was. It's because I wanted it pointing down. Didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Good enough. Except his elbow is not... His elbow is locked out there. Sometimes I like to use the clavicles as a cheat. It's like, ah, his arm is overextended. Yoink! Just change the clavicle, no big deal. Don't forget to stretch. Also, don't drop your pint glass that has since developed condensation on it. Alright, let's check the weapon in his hand here too. Yeah, that ain't gonna be pretty. That'll help us with getting it rotated up like I was trying to do. Cool. Let's see, so at this point he's kind of like needs to be swinging it over his head. So I gotta do something about this. Oh, wait. Did I mess it up again? Oh my god. Yes, I did. Oh no, what have I done? Wait. What am I trying to do here, guys? Yeah, alright, I messed this up. I mean, it is still a little weird here, but... This was his passing pose, right? Whoops. Wrong program. that's better. This whole time I just didn't have it in his hand. That's why it wasn't working so well. Oh, not that one. There we go. Ah, it's in such a weird spot here. Alright, that's a little better, I think. I think I want him to take a bigger step than that, so scooch him back and squish him down. Or what happens if we just stretch? Oh, weird. By increasing that value, it makes it smaller? That's not cool. Because I believe the arm, it was the other way around. Didn't... Yeah, cool. So on the arm, changing the extension to the positive value makes it longer, but on the leg, you have to do it to the negative. Wow. Good job, Rig. But yeah, that is a way I can cheat this pose, is by just using his stretchy. Or would I rather extend the low part? I'm not sure it really matters. Just probably don't want to do them both right now. Or if I just pivot up his foot a little more, I don't have to either. Hey. Yeah, still need to do it, I guess. Eh, come on. Alright, fine. I will do it manually because it's being way too finicky. Gonna be coming over his head at this point, like so. I'm gonna at least try to not have to translate his shoulder controls. Like, translating his clavicles I'm not opposed to, but this is just gonna cause some really challenging things ahead, I feel. Man, there's some heavy keyframe modifying or pose modifying with this left hand here on every frame, so that's gonna be fun to make look good later. Why is this? Look at this. This is weird. It's almost like he has an extra joint in his arm. It's like his bicep has a joint. I bet you he does. I bet the rig actually does have an extra joint in there, which is super annoying. Or he's just got really... What is going on there? Look at that. What the heck? That is not pretty. Oh my god. What is happening? I bet you anything if we turn on his skeleton. Yeah, cool. Why did you guys put the joint there? What on earth? That is not his shoulder. His shoulder is up here, guys. What are you thinking? No wonder I'm having such a problem with this. I guess I'm kind of expected to translate it on something like that. Okay, well, that explains why that's happening. Although I can't translate it because I'm in IK right now. Whereas, like, this one, I can translate the shoulder separate from... That's cool, guys. Look at that. It's so ugly. I'm not sure how to fix this. Not that way. That's fun. This is a rig for a studio too. Like, there's real actual animators using this rig. How has nobody complained about this? I guess I'm just supposed to like wiggle around his clavicle a bunch till it looks right, but that's gonna give me some weird interpolation later. I guarantee you, like, watch this. If I go back into my spline mode, well, I suppose I should fix it on that pose now too, but it's like, he's gonna have weird, like, translate-y shoulders and stuff. I don't like it. Not one bit. Also, fix your skinning. That's ridiculous. Get this man an arm splint. Seriously. What is... Whose shoulder is in the middle of their bicep, guys? That's... I know he's a troll, but come on, it's basic anatomy. Trolls still have anatomy. I should save my file. It's been a little minute. That was a mixture of a little while and a hot minute. A little minute. Yep, so that's what's going on there. Cool beans. Well, ew. Like, I could potentially fix the skinning. Camera. I could potentially fix the skinning a little bit on my own if those vertices are gonna be a problem later, but I'm gonna wait to do stuff like that till like probably the very end because we don't even have our camera set up right now, so I don't know how much of this we're actually gonna be seeing. Also, welcome, Dissatisfied. Don't know when you joined the stream, but hello, good to have you. Okay, so now we'll go, he's gonna be back forward again. Do I want to do a breakdown key? That is a good question, guys. I'm not sure I do this time. I think we're just gonna go straight into this pose. I might regret this. It's just an easy pose for me to get in the right spot, and then if I have to add an in-between later on, that's okay. Because what's happening is we're basically turning him around 360. Oh, except this foot is still... Wait, yeah. Okay, so this is basically gonna be 360. Except it's gonna be... Wait, did we actually accidentally make him step too much to the... No, that's okay. Alright. Look at this beautiful pose. Isn't that so pretty? He's just doing some yoga. That's all. So this foot's gonna pivot again. I always forget. Left view? No, I want right view. Never do that correctly. Yoink! Turn you around at least most of the way. Oh, I can't see. Oh, wait a second. That's the wrong pose. Let's not mess that up, huh? Alright, let's take care of this poor man's hips here. So, 360. I hate animating 360 degrees around. It's gonna do funny things with our gimbal, but don't really have a choice in this case. I think we want him to dramatically step forward. Oh my god. Wait, what happened? What happened to his... What am I looking at here? Oh, did we reach the clipping plane? Yes, I believe we did. So let me go into our hypergraph here. Is our front camera not in there? Okay, how about Windows, Outliner, front. And let's change this to 0.1 or 0.01 or 0.001. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're reaching the clipping plane because this dude is like 1,000 feet tall. That's what's happening. I wonder if I can easily just like scale him down. I didn't find a way to do that with this control. But yeah, that's not cool. I wish we just had like a world scale, because it's gonna be annoying. In fact, I'm going to just sort of like temporarily push him back there, so that way, now we can see his foot. I guess it should be rotated out a little bit to the side here. Is this Shaq? I don't know. Is Shaq a troll now? I bet he could probably take Shaq in a fight. Especially if he indeed is like 1,000 feet tall. Probably just step on him. Call it good. Oh. Let's see, we want his hips to rotate like so as he's taking a step forward, and probably back a little bit too. And he is way too far to the left. That's pretty good. Oops. I might cheat this one again and extend his leg, because I really want him to take that big of a step. But he's got tiny short little legs. Oh, I see what it is. It's the right side, you make the number positive for the stretch, and the left side is you make the number negative. Well, that's a little annoying, but I guess I can remember that. Oops. Alright, so at this point, the mace he's got to be like this, which is going to be real fun with these shoulders. Oh my god. Where did this head go, guys? I'm really gonna exaggerate this pose. The dude in the video is not curved quite this much, but I think it'll be kind of cool if we have him really in a nice C curve here. Maybe the foot's just a smidge too far forward. Oh, I'm having shoulder issues, guys. Fun times. Oh wait, we're in perspective view. Hello, Mr. Shoulder. Let's fix you. Oh my god, this is so ugly. What do we do? Okay, he just lost all the volume in his bicep. He's no longer a big, scary troll. Hopefully, I will not be judged for the shitty rig in the challenge. Because, hey guys, like, this just means this is what your animators are dealing with, and maybe you should do something about that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it looks so bad, you guys. I'm really gonna have to futz this with the camera. Maybe throw some motion blur on there. Fun times. Doing great. Well, thank you, Pawan. Is that how you say your name? Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. Welcome to the stream. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Glad to have you. Let's see. He should be looking forward at this point, because he's now looking towards where he wants to smash with his giant mace. Rawr. You got this, I think. Thank you for your confidence. Rawr. Oh my god, he just doesn't have an elbow now. Oh. Guys, I really don't like it when I'm limited on what I can do based off of the rig. It's like... And I don't think it was my rotation values either. It's so obnoxious. Like, I just want to do a cool move. Why can't I do a cool move? Oops, that was not the right control. Oh yeah. Power pose. You best watch out, this guy's gonna smash your face in. Well, if you want to know his weakness, it's clearly his arm, so just kick him in the bicep and he'll fall apart. If you can reach it, because he's 1,000 feet tall. I wonder if, like... I doubt this is the case, but I wonder if it, like, Riot, maybe they don't use Maya? And maybe that's why there's all these weird things with, like, the character being ginormous. But I don't think that's the case. I work with somebody who was at Riot for, like, 10 years, so I should ask him that question. Be like, hey, do you know that your guys' League of Legends rigs need some work? Elbow control is messed up, I think. Yeah, see, that's the problem is I'm animating in FK, so there is no elbow control, like, oh, this is only animated in rotate Y, because I don't like animating in the other axes on elbows since that's not how they work. It's just here, Pawan, I will show you why this is the way it is that his shoulder controls are in really weird spots. It's like halfway down his bicep instead of like up here. So it's giving me really weird deformations. Plus, I mean, this guy is like super duper chunky. And like if I click on him, oh my god. Don't look, guys. See, yeah, here's part of the problem. This rig, I mean, it was made for League of Legends, right? So most of the time they're going to be this big on screen, and they don't want to have a lot of geometry on there. The main problem is there's no edge loop here between the shoulder and this belt, but even I can't really fix this without adding more edge loops, because if I try and smooth this out, then his belt is going to suddenly move. So I think it's just because it's a super duper low poly rig, since it's for League of Legends, that, you know, if he was doing this on their game camera, he's gonna be this big, and you can't tell that his shoulder is all borked, so they don't care, right? But this is gonna be a character intro video, so it's gonna be close up, which is less than ideal, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. With this rig, we can't do strong poses. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I'm gonna do it anyway, because I don't want to be limited by a rig making the animations that I want to make, you know. Oh, look, I did this again. I skipped a spot. And then I'm just gonna have to do some fancy camera tricks to hide it or something. Alright, let's take a quick step through these frames and make sure we've still... Yeah, we probably will want to break down between these two frames, but I really just wanted to get to this pose because I knew it was going to be a fun one. Let's actually have him do a nice curve this way too. He should still, let's see, he's actually probably going to be twisted back this ways a little bit. Let's make sure to zero out, what would that be? Or Y. Oh, it is zeroed out. Interesting. Huh, okay. Well, in any case, he's actually still gonna be rotating this way a bit. Should have done this earlier, but alas. Oh man, that's gonna be... It's just so funny to see him be able to be like, "Burr, burr, 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 burr. This thing is styrofoam." Oops. Oh my god. Oh, oh, it's so gross. Alright, well, first of all, I think this is his pull vector over here. Oh my god, that didn't help. That did not help at all. Holy shit. That is awful. Oh. I feel like this could be better than that. I might have to try my hand at doing a little bit of skinning on this guy. Oh my god. It's just so bad. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Alright, I'm gonna take a look here real quick, like. Unless you guys actually want to see me do some skin weighting, I'll do this off stream, but I want to see just how bad it is. We could make him like a mini from Wii Sports, just cut out the arms and leave the hands. That sounds like a good idea to me, Dissatisfied. I think that's what I should do. Just no arms. And he just like magically flails his mace around with his mind vision. Let's see. Windows, general editors, where's, yes, component editor. Okay. Let's see what these are skinned to, first of all. Because he doesn't have that many joints, so it's not like it should be that bad. Smooth skins. What are you? Head? Head? Oh, that's because that's because I selected some head joints. That would make sense. All right, but let's just like, oh god, let's just grab like a couple of these verts here and see what they're. Oh my god, this is like. Okay, I'm gonna. Oof. Buddy. What's going on here? Alright, maybe that was a bad idea. So, for some reason, this is... What happens if we just say like 0.3? Yeah, so it is kind of bad. Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's just too much attached to the shoulder. Oops. My god. I don't know that I want to go in here and do this with every single vertice, but you get the idea. I could go into using my paint skin weights. I tend to not like that too much because I always find that I'll like accidentally skin it to the wrong thing, but I just want to see if I can even fix this. Oops, did not mean to do that. I meant to do 0.2, not 2. Oh, okay. Oh my god, this is just a mess. Alright, well, I'm gonna do this on my own time so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me modify the skinning, but the point of me doing that was just to make sure... Oh god, what did I just do? Oh god. I meant to go to object mode. The point of me was just to see if I could even make that better. And it does look like it's possible. Jesus. What's extra weird is that it looks like this side has more edge loops than this side. So I don't know what that reasoning was there, but anyway. This is honestly probably why I should reference this character, because if I do actually mess up the skinning, I can't go back. Like if I do it and then I keep animating and I'm like, oh, that's why it was the way it was and now I've screwed it up, then going back to a previous file will also mean I lose some of my animation. So, well. Oh, and I did it again. Wasn't on the right keyframe. Okay, so I'm not sure we actually even needed the reference of the guys doing this, but I didn't know 100% what I was gonna do. Like, yeah, see, I don't think I need this because essentially that first clip that I was using is good enough for that. But well, let's just go ahead and skip to right here. Oh, look at that! We're so lucky that we ended up having our character step forward with his right leg and we don't have to reinterpret this video reference, so that's nice. So now we'll just go boom, boom, boom. That's our next pose. Oh, whoops. Missed one. We're actually way underground here. Don't need quite there. Oops. Probably have his foot come off the ground as he's slamming it down because he's using the mace to give himself some counterweight there. Oops. Where'd your pull vector go, sir? There it is. All the way back there. Let's have it be a little more interesting angle, not quite straight on. Give him a bit of a curve in this pose here. I do know that the mace is going a little bit through the ground there. I think what I might do for this is just do a really sort of fakey ground formation crunch around his mace, which means I would actually want it to penetrate the ground just a smidge here. Maybe about like so. Yeah. There he is, bending at his bicep again. Cool. Super annoying guys. Let's really push this pose. Have him maybe be a little more to his right, and then curve this all back towards the other way. Rawr, look, I'm so threatening. Yarr. Yeah, I like to cheat sometimes and just translate the hips a bit to make it appear as though he's going that direction. It's really hard to make a nice looking silhouette with this guy, because look at that. He's so, like, you have no idea what that is looking at it, but this is kind of one of those challenging points where, you know, like that, see, that's an okay silhouette. I mean, minus this here that I need to fix. But it's like, a character like this, you're not always gonna have good silhouettes because he's just so bulky. Because, like, here you can see, oh, there's some nice negative space, and there's his mace. But then it's like, what is this? Well, as it turns out, those are his feet. Because he has giant feet. And to anyone else, it's like, I don't know what's going on, but, you know, if this was, like, human feet, you would know what that is. So, like, overall, it's a decent silhouette. It's just, like, from the front view, it's really sad. I wonder if I did just a smidge too much rotation here. Or maybe it'll help if I turn his head back towards the front. With a character like this, I think the important thing, the important thing is to have their colors good. So it's like you don't have a silhouette, right? But it is nice that he has a contrast with the red hair and his face, and it's like a lighter value than, say, his toes. Even the white tufts on his collar are a lighter value than the ones on his feet, because you want your eye to be drawn up to the top. And so your eyes will naturally go towards the lightest color. All right. Let's see how this is looking. Oh my god. This is gonna take me a long time to make look good, you guys. Especially with how icky the skinning is on this character. I hope I can pull it off, y'all. I really like the momentum you've given him. Thank you. I have to give credit to the video reference that I'm using, because I would not have done such as good as I have without some video reference. But that is the joy of video reference. Alright, so he's gonna like smash that in the ground, and then he's gonna pick it up and put it back on his shoulder. So I think we want him to step forward. Yeah, we should, for sure. We'll go to the end here. Yeah, we're not gonna make it seem as heavy to pick up as this is compared to this guy. So he's not gonna like stumble forward like he does. But we'll definitely make him step forward as he starts pulling on the sword. Or in our case, the mace. And here's the tricky part. I'm gonna set this up later. We want the mace to essentially be driving him now, but it's still being controlled by his arms. So at this stage, I'm just gonna like manually fudge it, kind of like I was doing with the feet pivoting. But when I actually get into splining, I'm going to do some like reverse constraint type of things. In fact, even for this blocking stage, it might be a little annoying to do it this way. Because I want it to pivot from here, right? So pretend like it's gonna look better than this. Just use your pretend minds, guys. Very pretend. Oh, we are in perspective view. Whoops. I'm definitely challenging myself this time around, which is good, because, you know, I wanted to do some basic stuff like walk cycles and jumps and stuff on my channel, just so that, like, I could have some content there and show you guys kind of what my process is, but this is the real bread and butter, and I'm definitely pushing myself with this animation too. I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. Gonna have his foot a little more forward there so that it can really feel like he's planting that foot down as a way to pull back on his mace. Also, I want to think about like the pose that he's gonna end up in. I'm probably just gonna like make it up as I go, but since this is supposed to end in a idle pose, I'll want to think about that. But you know, normally I would have a pose that I'd have to match up to in a game if I was actually making this for League of Legends, for instance. But I don't actually know what my idle pose will be yet. So kind of doing this backwards, but that's the nature of this challenge. Alright, you can close your mouth now, sir. Oh. Man, I don't know that I'm gonna get quite done with my blocking in the next 20 minutes. I suppose I had a bit of a late start because of all the issues I was encountering with this rig, but we're pretty close with the blocking being done. You know, I think he needs to step into it just a little more. Again, it's kind of challenging because we don't have this mace like stuck to the ground just yet, but oh, did I do it again? I added a frame that I didn't need just yet. That's cool. Oh, that's fine. At least I didn't lose anything. I think it's close enough. Like I said, we'll constrain the mace to the ground to actually make it look believable. But we're gonna worry about that after our blocking is done. So I really like this bend here. We could do like an opposite bend as he's lifting it up onto his shoulder, but just have a much smoother transition. Really, I guess obviously that's super terrible for your back, but me troll, me no care. I don't want to do this where he's like using his leg. Like obviously that's a smart thing to do, but I don't think that's gonna be as visually interesting as like So let's give that a try. Let's see, which way should he be rotating as he pulls this up? Towards his right. Or, wait. The way this guy is doing it, he's actually pulling it towards... Let me show you. He's pulling it towards his left, and part of that is because he's got it over his left leg. But it is nice that he kind of is twisted towards his left and then still puts it on his right shoulder, which is what we want to do. So let's see how that looks if I go that route. Again, I don't want it to seem like this troll is really having a hard time because, I mean, it's his weapon, right? So it's gonna be a lot easier for him to lift this up than that sword is for our video reference, but I do still want it to feel heavy. Oops. Wrong control. This isn't super ideal to have him like not have his foot completely planted on the floor, on the ground, but at the same time he's a troll and he's got big feet, so he really only needs one big foot planted on there. And we don't want him to feel like he's super tiny. Oh, I did it again. Where'd your pull vector go? Nope, that's not it. Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? Nope. Sir, where does your pull vector go, sir? There it is. Need to fix your elbows. Actually, probably shouldn't have him go left and then right again. Let's maybe fix that a bit. I'm putting a lot more, I guess these aren't necessarily my key poses here that I'm doing, but I just want to make sure I know how to make him lift this thing. Okay. It's coming on, guys. Minus this being weird here, but that's right. I wanted this to be a little more of a curve. Trying to work fast because I'm worried about how much time I have left to complete this competition. I've only got 3 weekends to do this since I didn't know about it last weekend. And I want to be able to stream this all for you guys to see from start to finish. Aside from maybe I won't stream like me fixing the skin weight stuff because it's not the actual animation portion. But man, that means I have 24 hours to complete this. Can I do it? Maybe? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know just yet. I think the camera is gonna be, honestly, my toughest part. Well, I don't know. I did choose a pretty aggressive movement for him to do. Alright, so I think based off of this video reference, I've settled on he's going to take a step forward with his right foot as he lifts this up onto his shoulders. Since this guy's like doing that as a counterbalance, I'm just gonna have him take one step. And that's gonna probably be where we end up in our idle pose, so... And this is where we could just take this guy off of IK. For now, I'm just gonna pose it manually, and we'll deal with switching it later. Just want to keep this as simple and fast as possible for now. Bonk. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Why are you hitting yourself? I hope this elbow is gonna bend the way I want it to. Yeah, it doesn't look super good, does it? He bonk. Bonk a bonk bonk. Okay, I actually put it back in his hand. I'm sure anyone who's used to doing feature animation or television or whatever, like, this is probably driving you crazy seeing all of this like clipping madness that's happening, but I'm really used to it because clipping is just a thing you deal with in video games. If you avoid clipping altogether, then it doesn't actually feel like something is intersecting. Like, it doesn't actually feel like it's touching, right? Because you don't get to do this like squashing the geometry in game rigs like you do film, because that ain't something the game engine can afford to do, at least not in today's day and age. So you just kind of get over it, because as a player, I don't really care, right? Like, I see this here, and I'm not like, oh my god, it's like clipping through his ruffles on his shoulder and clipping through his hair. Like, to me, this looks like, oh no, I believe that mace is resting on his shoulder, right? So there's a lot that people are willing to suspend their disbeliefs for in video games. Yeah, I want him to like kind of look super cocky here. No, can't be comfortable. Definitely. Well, that's what his fluffy padding is for, man. That gives it a nice little resting spot. Okay, maybe I am gonna change this to FK because it is driving me crazy trying to pose this arm in IK right now. We're gonna have to deal with like matching that later, but alright, so this is gonna be his final pose, I think. And we gotta make him look badass. I wanna give him some nice twist in his spine because he's like holding that mace, right? This might be a little too much. I want him to be like frowning down on you. So we'll have the camera view, something kind of looking up, because that, you know, it's like a power dynamic, right? If you want a character to feel strong, you look up at them. If you want them to feel weak, you look down. Oops. This is the pose I make after I finally kill that fly with my sword. Yeah. That's good. I have one master fly. Do you catch your fly with your chopsticks? That's how you know you're truly a master. At this point, I'm probably going to want the right arm in IK, but not right now. I'm so glad he only has 3 fingers on each hand. It's a lifesaver. I mean, most of his time is going to be spent with his hands on the mace anyway, but still. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to animate this cloth too, aren't I? Just realized that. Maybe I'll be able to use a trick for that. So I don't like that from the side we don't see his other arm. It's not a very good silhouette. The question is, do I try to bring it out in front of him or behind him? Let's do behind. Yeah, I guess adjusting this pose is gonna be kind of determined on where our camera is at. I have to remember, like, I'm so used to animating stuff that's gonna go in the game engine, which means, oh, you basically have to have a good looking silhouette from all different views, but that's not the case here. And I know we're gonna have some sort of frontal view on him for the final shot, so maybe I don't need to be so concerned about that. Did I totally just have him rotate the wrong way? Yeah. I think I did. I guess it kind of depends on the mace, you know, like normally it's like, oh, whichever foot forward is the way that you're like twisting towards that front foot, right? But is that what we want? Let's find out. If we do yeah, I don't think that's gonna look super good because the thing is here, he's got this big old macey mace, right? And he's basically like, his right shoulder is higher. You might think it's lower because like, oh, he's got this weight on it. It should be dropped, but he's got to use his strength to hold that up because if his shoulder dropped down, it would actually be harder for him to hold that on his shoulder. So I think we might just do this. Like what we could do is have him take another step forward. Let's see what that looks like. All right, I'm gonna just, so I don't lose this pose in case I decide I want to go back. We're just gonna have him take a step forward and see if we think this looks better because of his right foot out in front. And then maybe I just wouldn't have him step as far forward with his left foot. Oops. I did it again. You know, it's funny. I almost think that makes him look like weaker because it's more accurate. Whereas like if he's doing this thing that's kind of not a pose that someone would normally be able to do, it makes him look like more of a badass, right? Oh, for one thing, we should probably rotate these hips to match. Yeah, you know what? I think I like it better this way. He's kind of just like opened up a little bit. Like super confident, right? Whereas like this way, if he's rotating towards his front leg, then it's a lot more like, oh, I'm having trouble here. Yeah, I just don't think it looks as good. It might not be as accurate, but I think I like it better with his right foot back, and then we can rotate his hips a little more too. Although I think I've now messed up my pose here, yeah. Whoops. I should move his foot forward, not the right foot back. Yeah, I think that works okay. Did I mess up his hips? Kinda. Oh my gosh. It's 5 o'clock, guys. It's probably not 5 o'clock where any of you are. But it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And that is here. I'm having trouble figuring out what to do with these hips here. Oh, what did I do? I ruined it somehow. What happened, guys? Oh, rip. I don't know what I did. Did I? What the heck? Heckin' heck. The hips don't lie. These hips don't lie, girl. How did I mess this up? I think I did something wrong, guys. What did I do? I wasn't paying attention. It suddenly didn't look good anymore. Now he just looks like he's struggling. Maybe it was this? Nope. Yeah. I broke it. What'd I do? We're gonna hit undo a bunch of times. I don't think we can go back far enough. Is that better? No, that wasn't. I had still messed it up there. I think that's a little better. I don't know though. I think I screwed it up. Cause he had like that nice silhouette, right? Am I crazy, or didn't we have like a good silhouette going for his arms? What happened? Woo! It's like stop motion now. Oh my god! What did I do? Wow, I'm actually surprised I can undo as much as I can here. I think I've gone too far. Uh-oh. Gotta practice my buttons. Okay, well, I messed that up. Anyway, good news is I saved before I decided to start undoing everything, so let's just go back to that. Oh, Tom, hello. It's 1 a.m. here. I love watching the streams though, even if it means staying up. Oh, well, thank you so much. I don't want to keep you up too long though. I did only intend on streaming until 5 o'clock my time, but I had a bit of a rough start due to dealing with this plugin issue. Ah. Well, I don't know how long I'm gonna futz with this pose. I thought I had it looking the way I wanted it, and then I just messed it up. I messed it up, guys. Why did I do that? Nope, that's not what I want. Why do I gotta break things? Well, in any case, we'll futz with this pose a little more, like I said, when we figure out exactly what our camera is going to be doing here. But, alright, gonna probably call it a day soon. So, if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to say something in chat real quick. But let's take a look at these poses. Oh, did I... Oh, right. Let's get rid of this one because I don't want that one. So here's our progress. Obviously, you need to do some timing on it. And we need another breakdown between here and here. But, because it's like, almost like he chops off his head. But, that's okay. Take a look at it from other views. Looks like a big old troll guy wielding around a mace. Cool. Alright guys, well, I think that is going to do it for today. I am going to be streaming again tomorrow, same time tomorrow, 1 p.m. here, which is GMT -8, I guess. So yeah, if you can join, great. If not, no hard feelings. Thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you next time.